T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What the fuck?
Follow us on Instagram. Better follow me at Philly Jams 95.3 FM.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. I'm your host, Shay Marriott, and joining me is...
It's your boy Eli Isabel in the building, aka the South got something to say. Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Wow, Shay.
And happy August 1st. It's the first day of
It is.
August, man. That's great. Like, where did the summer go?
The year is out of here.
Oh, my God.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? But I can tell you what we did.
What we did. And if you weren't there, you missed it. You missed a treat.
You absolutely did. We had the Rebirth Live on Saturday night, man, at Revive venue on Philadelphia Pike, and it was amazing. It was
Wow.
amazing.
Listen, it was definitely a blessed event, man. The people, they came, they showed up and they showed out.
Mm-hmm.
The audience participation was like next level, man. It was pretty dope.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I hope
Absolutely.
I hope the people got something from that. That was pretty cool.
absolutely. It was a good time. What was the best part for you?
Man, you know what the best part to me were the questions from the audience. Because, we
Yeah.
all banter and go back and forth, but to see them
Right.
being engaged and paying attention
Right.
and having questions and people even asking questions like that applies to their real life right now.
Yeah.
The one young lady really stood out to me, the 121-year-old who was talking
Mhm.
about,
Mm-hmm.
she wants to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows what she wants and she wants to go for it. So
Yeah.
that stood out to me, and I thought she got some amazing feedback from you and from other panel members. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely was a good time. I think the best part for me also was the participation with the audience. They were so engaged, and it literally was a big conversation amongst everybody. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It felt like
Right.
it was just sitting in your living room and everybody's just having conversation. So intimate conversation, right? And transparent, very transparent.
It was
So thank you to those that came out and supported the Rebirth Live. We appreciate you guys, and also thank you to the panel. The panel was really, really good.
Shout out to everybody who made it, and the people who didn't make it. You didn't stop nothing. 1 monkey don't stop no show. We just keep on rolling. That's how we do
You
it,
talking
baby.
stuff right now.
I'm just saying.
Let them know. Let them know.
If you was a no call, no show, I got a problem.
Right.
You could at least say, "Yo, we ain't coming."
Right.
You just
Yeah.
like crickets.
You speaking to a couple people.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you ain't give us nothing.
I know that's right, but it's
All
all
good,
good.
though.
We still love you. We still love
we made
you.
it do what it
We
do.
made it do what it do, and we kept it moving.
That's
so again, if you missed our very first Rebirth Live, listen, guys, we're coming back. We got Volume 2 coming. Love, lust, and relationships.
You're hilarious with the volume.
I know. Y'all crack me up the way. It's all good.
It's coming, volume
It's
2.
coming, and we will let you know exactly when you can start purchasing your tickets for that.
Keep your ears on.
Absolutely. So again, welcome to Rebirth on Philly
Shout out
Jams
to Revive,
95.3. Shout out to Revive. Yes, Rhonda and Greg.
Rhonda
They
and
were an
Greg,
amazing
yes.
couple. They are the owners of Revive, and thank you so much. You guys really,
Yes.
really just greeted us and made sure we were taken care of. So
They did a phenomenal job.
they did. So if you are looking for event space here
Yes.
in Wilmington, Delaware, make sure you check out Revive Venue, located on 729 Philadelphia Pike. And again, welcome to the Rebirth.
Yes.
If you guys want to join the conversation tonight, give us a call at 267-908-3166. You would think I would know the number by heart by now, but I don't.
You don't call yourself.
I don't call myself, right. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms as well as wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you check us out. We are going to be posting the Rebirth Live audio, the show, soon. So you'll be able to find that on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all those places. All right?
All
Okay,
right.
so let's get into it.
Hey.
Oh, and wait, and hey, thank you for being such an amazing co-host and partner to do this with. I wouldn't have picked anybody else to do this with, so thank you so much. We definitely got a vibe going.
Got a vibe.
And, I appreciate you. I don't want you to think I take you for granted or anything like that. So,
I don't necessarily think
Yeah.
that. However, no, I'm just kidding. You're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, this is fun, man. And after, like, even tonight, after like a crazy day at work, this is where I can blow off a little steam.
yeah,
So I appreciate it for that, definitely. Probably more than anything.
yeah.
But to be able to enlighten and inform, that's a plus too. So yes,
That's right. That's right.
All right.
So, we're going to hit right here, right now?
right here, right now.
Okay,
Let me
let's get it.
Tasha, should I be doing? Should I be doing something? I want to bring that back.
All right.
Oh, that's it? All right. Hello, everyone. It is Monday, August the 1st. Welcome to the Right Here, Right Now segment of the Rebirth Show.
Is that your sexy voice?
I normally turn this one on after like about 8:30. Listen, man. It's a hater in the building. There's a hater amongst us. All right. Balenciaga, what are you doing? Balenciaga has
That's crazy.
Balenciaga now has what they call a trash pouch. Definitely a ridiculous little situation right here. They are selling trash bags for $1,790.
It's crazy. I just don't understand it.
Now, you materialistic Negroes out there, 'cause I know some of y'all are labeled down. If I see anybody with a Balenciaga trash pouch and you tell me you did not get it from Cowtown, I'm fighting you on the spot. I don't, like, why? Why would anybody, what is it's a trash bag
I just think
for
people
$1,700?
got, first of all, people have too much money on their hands and they don't know what to do with it. They really don't know what to do with it. That's the crazy thing.
That's a
know
lifetime
what to do
supply
with
of
it.
Glad bags. If you go take $1,700 and go to the market and buy Glad bags, you can't even. They probably don't even have $1,700 worth of garbage bags in the garbage in the market.
Yeah.
Insane,
Yeah.
insane. So please, I don't hate on nobody's hustle, but that's ridiculous. Don't do it.
And they're actually going down the runway with the trash bags.
Somebody's gonna be out here walking around holding a Balenciaga
They-
trash
yeah.
bag, matching their outfit.
Exactly.
They come in 3 colors:
And it does. He's not
They-
joking.
no,
It
they come
comes
in
in 3 colors.
black, blue, and white. So you can carry your Balenciaga trash bag with you as you walk down the street, I guess.
First of all, I'm not trying to wear nothing I can barely pronounce. I can barely even pronounce it.
We over here struggling with Valium. Forget Balenciaga. Nah, I'm playing.
You dead wrong.
Listen, you know I throw words around like a frisbee all the time, so you can't. Don't listen. Don't
It's
be
all
offended by me.
good.
So that is our ridiculous right here, right now. The Balenciaga garbage bag. I mean, hey, do you? Today, I want to touch on in our Black History moment, man.
Okay.
Miss Shirley Anita Chisholm. If you don't know who she was a United States Congresswoman, the first black to represent New York's 12th Congressional District, and in 1970, first black candidate for a major party to run for president of the United States.
Wow.
Shout out to Miss Shirley Anita Chisholm. She is no longer with us. She moved on to glory in 2005, but shout out to her. What she did, she ain't here.
Well, you
She's not listening to this.
sound like you got a little preachy there for a minute.
Well,
Well, go ahead.
under the sound of my
Under the
voice.
sound of my
if
voice.
you all will. But yeah, shout out to Shirley Chisholm, man. Definitely a trailblazer and
For
an
sure.
inspiration to many of us.
For sure. And
Right.
she's not trying to put labels on a regular trash bag.
She was not.
She did not.
Jesus.
So we got our priorities mixed up. Anytime you're trying to make a designer trash bag, you're gonna spend. I'm still stuck there. You're gonna spend $1,000 something to put trash in a bag that you already put in the trash can.
Even if I hit
That
the
doesn't
lotto,
even make
if I hit the
sense.
Mega Millions the other day, I still wouldn't make a dumb purchase like that. Was a $1 billion Mega Millions.
Yeah.
I still can't see myself buying a trash bag. Like, what
Yeah.
is the point?
But it goes back to appearance and image. Is it going to be the thing that I walk outside my house to take my trash in a designer bag, in a designer trash bag? And if my bag is not designer, am I now less
They gonna
than?
clown me now.
They're gonna clown me.
You just got
right?
a glad, son.
You just got a glad.
Got the Balenciaga trash
yeah,
bag.
yeah,
Insane.
that's crazy. All right, well
Definitely
we'll move on
insane.
from that, but that was pretty crazy.
It's a
So
little annoying.
again, welcome to the Rebirth. Shout out to Corey Wilkerson that's watching tonight. Corey, you did an amazing job on
Yes,
the
shout
panel,
out to the
man.
homie.
You definitely have an invite to come back. You did an absolutely great job. So thank you for supporting the show. Shout out to my mother, Eileen. I see you watching.
Hey, Miss Eileen.
Eli gonna be on his best behavior tonight. Hopefully,
Always.
we'll
when
see.
She's around. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And shout out to Tasha LaQueen for holding it down for us on Saturdays.
Yes.
Tasha was our host, as well as making sure all the technical stuff was running properly. So she had several jobs going on that night. We appreciate you, Tasha. Thank
Silent
you for
assassin.
everything
She gets
that
it
you do.
Done, Tosh. No doubt.
yeah, yeah.
Jen, gotta show Jen some love.
Of course, you didn't let me get
I'm
there.
sorry. No, she a little
But
sensitive.
Boss Up brand, Miss Jen Marshall. She definitely did her thing. Thank you, Jen, for just being there, being there, helping me out and making sure that I keep my nerves calm and all
You
of
was
that.
a mess in
I
the
wasn't
back.
a mess in the back. I was not. I was just hot.
No, other than being hot. He was like, I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I was nervous when I finally got there because it just all hit me, right? So it was like people kept asking me, was I nervous and was I ready for the show and all of that? Like the whole week. All the way up until maybe a couple hours. I was really just like kind of out of it, like just kind of calm. I think I was just tired. But then as soon as I got my makeup done and I was headed there, it was just like, okay, now it was finally hitting me, right? So, yeah, I did get a little bit,
The wine helped you out, though.
nervous in the back a little bit, got a little hot and all of that, But it was a good thing,
It
and
was a
everything
great thing.
just turned out right. So I definitely really appreciate that. What up, Reladelic? Haven't seen you in a minute. Thank
What
you
up,
for
what up,
tuning
what
in
up?
tonight.
Yo,
All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into it.
let's get it.
So there was a actual video I wanted to show at our Rebirth Live, but the conversation was going so well and going so good, and it was so meaty. I could not stop it in that moment to show this video. And actually, Corey actually sent me this video. So this is going to be our topic tonight. Should you date outside of your league, emotionally or financially? We're going to show you a clip of this.
Dating out of your league is not only about money,
Yeah.
right? It can be about money. Oftentimes people like to categorize it like that, but it's not only about money. If I've gone through some stuff and I've been hurt and I've gone through the trauma and all of that, but I've done the work to heal and to be a better person so that I don't drag my baggage into my next relationship. If you come to me and you haven't dealt with those kind of things, you're emotionally unavailable, you got all of these things going on, you're dating out of your league. Go deal with that shit before you come and deal with me.
Absolutely.
So it's not always about money.
I've been with many people that have showed me different things, and I thought that I knew everything. I thought I traveled, but there are different things upon life that people go through and they've seen. And then when you learn those things, it raises your league up. So most of us tend to date outside of our league because that's what we're infatuated by. That's what we're looking to become. So you might not want what they have, but being around and getting that knowledge.
Like,
All right.
Wow.
So we're talking about, should you date outside of your league? Is it okay to ever date outside of your league? And that's going emotionally and financially. Now, the first thing that I thought about, Eli, is when I saw this, I like the perspective where she put it emotionally, because financially and status wise, right, we've always looked at that,
Right.
somebody, oh man, you dating outside your league, rather it's to a man that's dating a woman that either makes more or is on a different status, or rather it's the opposite, the woman dating a man that
Right.
So it goes both ways. But although I have considered the emotional piece, it's the first time that I've actually heard it out loud, hearing somebody else say it. Are you emotionally
Right.
dating outside your league?
That's never the focus, though, which is probably more important than the money. You know what I mean? Listen. That's definitely a new spin on it, and something that I think people need to pay attention to,
Yeah.
because we have these people that are an emotional mess, meeting people that maybe sort of have their emotions and their mental health together, and they're in a great place, and this person comes into their life, and now you are responsible for me vicariously. You're responsible for helping this person pull themselves together.
So prior to you getting married, prior to you being married, have you ever felt you were dating somebody that was out of your league, or have you dated someone that was out of your league? Did I say that twice? I meant
know
it
what
two
you mean,
different
though.
ways, but
So do we mean emotionally and mentally?
both, emotionally or financially.
Financially, before I got married, I'm gonna say nah, maybe not. Nah, I've just never been with a woman that just had it like that. That can, all right, let me take care of you. I'm gonna buy you something. It had to be a birthday or holiday. It wasn't like I can just splurge on you. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. When I was about 20,
You know what? Here we go.
I did date this. I didn't date her. I was just hanging out with her. She was about 40, and I was definitely.
Dang.
Yeah. I was definitely intimidated by her and everything, because she had a house.
Wow.
She had an Acura Legend. At 20, she's balling.
Yeah.
To me, nice
she's
crib.
40, yeah.
Yeah. So she had it going on. So I knew that wasn't. I didn't, and not that I wanted it to be anything, because she was just too old for me at the time. And but I was just in to try to see, for the physical part of it. So yeah, she was definitely out of my league in maturity wise, financially, mentally, emotionally. But she didn't make me feel that way.
She didn't make you feel that
She
way.
did not
Okay.
make me feel like I wasn't worthy of being in her presence.
So what did she do to not make you feel that way?
I just never felt belittled. Like she made me feel like I wasn't like this little young boy up in there. I mean, she was a woman. Like she cooked. She did what grown women do at 40, and to the young fella. And she let me use the Legend.
Oh, okay.
She was cool. She had a, you couldn't tell me nothing, and you definitely couldn't tell me nothing with the facts.
I know that's right.
It was money green.
Yeah.
Photo. She had all her limbs.
I was going to ask that, Tasha. Did she have both arms?
But look,
okay.
when I was 40, I saw her years later when I was 40, and she was 60, and I was like, woo, definitely dodged a bullet.
You
The years had not been kind.
You know what?
She was on a walking cane and everything. I was like, what the fuck? Everything was silver, and she had a bad hip or something. I was like, oh God. What if I had just hung in there? And here we are now. I'm 40 and she's 60.
You know what? See?
I'm saying she's out my league. I'm so glad she was
She
out
was
my league.
She was out your league. Okay.
Yeah, I had a nursing home visiting her.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
I
Well,
digress.
that's interesting. Very interesting.
What up, Jen?
So, let's get into the video. She says that dating out of your league could also doesn't have to be just financial, but it's also an emotional thing. And I don't think that people really look at it from that standpoint. People always look at it from the financial thing, or
How they look.
how they look. That's another thing. That is another thing. How
the
the
very attractive person.
Right.
What do we say?
How they
Damn,
get
boy,
done.
how you pull that?
How you
That's
pull
your
that.
leg.
That's you, So where does that come from though? Where does that come from?
Where
Why
did
do
this
people do
originate?
that? Yeah. I know you don't know where it originated,
it's
but
rhetorical,
like, yeah, like why do we assume that somebody is out of somebody's league? And please chime in, guys. The
And-
number's 267-908-3166, or please chime in over social media. Put it in the comments.
I'm gonna say for all the reasons we've said, like because of where a person may look, because of their financial status, maybe because of their background. You know, think about how many times you say, "Oh, you got you got a little hood chick." Like I would have never thought you would date somebody like
Just
that.
Stan said that at the Rebirth Live.
He's-
I heard somebody say, "What? What do you?" I was like, "Oh shoot."
Just Stan used the phrase hood
Stan
chick.
was like a hood Joan. That's what he
yeah,
said.
he did. That's straight Philly.
A hood Joan. I'm like, come on now, Philly in the building.
Come on, merch. But but yeah, I think it's for those reasons right there. People, because you know what it is, Tay? I think it's classism, is prejudice. It's all of those things rolled into one that make people be like, damn, why? Because it looks like the person that people that seems to be in a better place. It's like they're dating down.
Right. And
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And I think they're confused. So here's the thing, right? I don't know, that kind of bothers me a little bit, because when you say somebody's dating down, right, you're basing it off of what you think you might know about the person, rather it's
Right.
their financial status, rather if they went to college or if they didn't.
Right.
You know, you said classism, where they from, you know, all of these things we can put in place. But that person that you are saying that, oh, you're dating down with, might be the one person that treats you like a king or treat you like a queen. But because they wasn't brought up, or they didn't attend a certain college or university, or they didn't live in the suburbs, or whatever causes you to feel like that person is, you know, you're dating out of your league,
Right.
that means I'm supposed to walk away from that person or turn them down, or find me somebody that is, you know, making
Equal to you in their
equal
eyes.
to me or
Yeah,
more,
but
or
don't treat you well.
but don't treat me well.
Yeah.
You know, now am I dating in my league? So that's really interesting to me, how we can quickly just let that roll off of our tongue. And I also think I think jealousy has a lot to do with it as well. Because
Absolutely.
people would quickly say that to someone that either they was trying to holler at, was trying to get with, and maybe they didn't get through that door,
Right.
but the other person did, or it's something about them that they, you know, they want to have or want to be.
Agreed. I agree, and I think that because we are such a judgmental society, like just be, you know, I think the part of it is people on the outside looking in, they don't know most of the times what you need and what would be good for you. And because it doesn't come in this little neat package, and you know it's degreed, it speaks with great, you know, they're very articulate, all these things that you think that person should have. Like, prime example, on the outside looking in, we were like, what the hell is Whitney Houston doing with Bobby Brown?
Right.
Whitney Houston was just as hood as Bobby Brown. So, but we didn't know that. We're just on the outside looking in, and I think that happens a lot. Like when that
Beyonce
first,
and Jay-Z, when that came together.
I was surprised from a physical perspective of how Jay looked. He was able to bag her. Not that, because financially, Jay, you know, he was there.
Right. But by look.
By looks, I would not put them two together. You know, but there are some women out here that find Jay-Z to be one of the most attractive men moving. I've heard women say that. Like, his swag makes him fine.
I like Jay-Z. I'm not going to say he fine, but I like Jay-Z. I think that he does have a swag about him and a charm about him that can
He's
help
very intelligent,
people overlook what he looks like. Yeah. And then you have people too they're attracted to intellect. So I'm a person that
Right.
I am attracted to intellect, right? But no, I do care about what you look like. So I ain't even gonna put that out there. I do care about what you look
Because
like.
they said Flavor Flav was very smart in high school. So Flav got a shot.
Hell no. But intellect too is something that I do care about. I like to have conversations.
But were you always that way? Like, I'm more into that as I've gotten older. You know what I'm saying? When I was in my 20s, I didn't give a shit how smart you were if you looked good. You know what I'm saying? And that's from a guy perspective. But are women more passive about that when they're younger too? They don't care if you're so smart, as long as you got a little edge to you and you look good.
I think what happens, and you know what, I'm only going to speak for myself because I really don't know. I really do think that's an individual thing, and I don't even think it's a gender thing. I think
Right.
that it's, that can go both male or female. But for me, yes, the physical is what attracted me, but it was the conversation and the intellect that keeps me stimulated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I found myself maybe dating someone that, I may have been attracted to, but eventually at some point, like, you started to lose me because the conversation got boring, or there was no conversation,
Right.
or like maybe the immaturity started to come out. And it's just like, okay, you fine, but like you can't hold a conversation for
That's all you got from me. You
right,
fine.
yeah. So and I think I don't want to say most women are like that, because I think we're all individuals, and it depends on, what attracts you. But for me, I've always been like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even as a youngster.
I mean, as a youngster, you're trying to learn yourself, so you damn sure don't know nobody else. You know?
No, but if you like smart, you like smart.
Yeah, well, yeah, true.
Did you like
That's
to do
true.
it in AP calculus
I
or
didn't
general math 1
I
in
didn't
high
date the
school?
bad guys though,
Oh,
which
that
would
wasn't
consider
you.
to be the bad boys.
Okay.
I didn't date the bad boys. That's why I always, when people say, "Oh, she's a good girl," I didn't date the bad
Ah.
boys. I didn't. So nothing towards the bad boys. It just wasn't. I
You
just
never
didn't
had
date
that
them.
phase.
Mm-mm.
That's pretty amazing because I don't know many women who didn't go through that phase.
Mm-hmm.
Where they like to thug.
No.
Okay.
Corey says, you think it won't happen to you or you can change them. However, most times you don't know until it's too late. I'm assuming he was talking about early on when we were speaking in regards to the dating outside your league.
Oh, I mean, I think he's right. I think you know what? Like most relationships, if you don't just meet somebody and hook up immediately, because those things sometimes just lead to you meet somebody at a bar and y'all hook up, and now a week later that's your boyfriend or your girlfriend. But most people, when you just kind of meet and come together and you getting to know somebody, all of those things aren't necessarily something that you are looking at. Like you looking at the vibe, the energy between the two of you, not where they're from, not where they, what side of town they grew up on, or what they doing for a living, especially men more so. Like if there's a connection, then I think we're looking at everything, maybe except for maybe what you do for a living. As long as you're probably not a dancer or something. I ain't gonna even say the S word. As long as you're not a dancer, I think
Stripper?
that's okay. I was trying to be PC tonight because Miss Williams is on. As long as you're not a stripper, I think most dudes can pretty much overlook that for the most part. And if they get to know you, then it works.
You'd be surprised. It's a lot. It's a lot of men that are okay with the stripping thing now. Believe it or not.
Not dating one though, right?
No, I'm serious. Like,
Oh.
dating. Yeah.
I am surprised. I've been out the strip club for many years. No, I just could not do that. Nothing
Yeah.
against anyone who dances for a living, but I don't think you can ever be my. If you're actively dancing, you cannot be my woman. Okay.
So I have a question in regards to do you think that men are more likely to date outside of their league as a way of manipulation as well? Because so this is going to go to a whole nother level. So I noticed that, so I'm doing a whole series on narcissism
Okay.
for the new practice that I'm opening with Lisa Savage,
Expansion.
called Amani Healing Therapy Center. So that's a it's also a private practice, virtual only, and it's for Black women. So it's called Amani Healing Therapy. So right now I'm doing like Narcissistic 101 and helping people understand, what narcissism is and how do you know you're in a narcissistic relationship? What does that look like? What are the signs? What is love bombing? What is gaslighting? All of those things. So what I have found, and not only just from my own experience, I did date someone that I would say has a narcissistic personality disorder. Did very, very, very well for himself. whole different level of, you know, things. You know, he had it going on. Very charming.
What's his name?
Don't even go there. However, in the beginning of those things, it looked, you know, like, oh man, this person is really charming. They really got it together. But as time went on, and it didn't take long, I noticed that there was a control thing there. And because I wasn't the type of woman that could be controlled, or because I wasn't a person that, like I have my own bag, right? So I'm not with you because of what you have.
Right.
And because I wasn't able to be controlled from a money standpoint, it just didn't work. And they knew they couldn't do that to me. But from what I understand, it was just like those were the type of women that this person would date, women that they can control.
Wow.
And that they will be able to, you know, pretty much like manipulate, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, so my question to you again, do you feel that, you know, when it comes down to men, do men tend to date outside of their lead as a means of control or manipulation at times?
I think that absolutely there are some men who do that. And I think some men may even do it and not realize they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way, you know, maybe that's what they saw. And so that's normal to them.
Mm-hmm.
The man may have just controlled every aspect of the relationship, down from the finances down to what maybe the woman would wear. So I do think, and then there are men who purposely do this. They manipulate the situation. And a lot of that goes back to what they've been through. And this is no excuse, but what they've been through and what they've been taught or not taught in reference to how to treat a person, and it speaks a lot to their self-esteem. So I think we normally exercise willful control and power over somebody when we feel like that this person, not having this person would do something to us spiritually and emotionally. So we want to exert that power to make sure we keep them in a certain place. So I do think I don't know if I know personally any men that maybe did that to women, but I do think men do that all the time. And I think some women, depending on the situation and how they're living, they submit to that way of living. Like you said, you have your own bag, so you're not going to be able to treat me that way because I don't need you in that way. But a woman who may need him in that way,
they submit to that.
They will submit
absolutely.
to that and live a horrible life, but their bills are paid.
Absolutely. Everything is paid.
You know what I mean?
You know, and it was almost, the funny thing is, it was like that person got offended when I didn't take money.
So he would offer you money even though you weren't asking or making it seem like you needed?
Right. It was like he would offer, he would, you know, say, again, we go into the narcissistic abuse, so which is really emotional, right? So, and anybody, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist or you know someone that is a narcissist, they like to tease as well. They have this, it's like a kid, they like to tease. So at some point, I started to notice like stuff like that, like in a relationship or in a situation where, I'm gonna say a situationship, where they will find things to pick on just to try to tease, you know. And I'm just like, what the heck is this? You know, what is going on, right? But because of what I do, I immediately picked up on it. Like, yo, this person really has NPD. They have narcissistic personality disorder. So their way to make up for that will be putting like a few $100 here, take this. Go get you get. Yeah, if I'm going somewhere, stop by so you can come and pick up this. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm good. I don't need that.
Isn't
good.
some of that also traits of a bully? Because you think about like bullies in high school or elementary school or whatever.
Absolutely.
They might not necessarily, and I'm just saying, you tell me, because they may not necessarily be a narcissistic person, but they're just like, they've been mistreated, so they're mistreating. So does it always end up being someone with narcissistic personality disorder? You know what I'm saying? Who manipulate and treat people that way? Oh,
no, not absolutely not. But the majority, when you're dealing with relationships like that, and you have that love bombing that comes into play, or that gaslighting, most definitely it is you're in a narcissistic situation.
Right.
And that doesn't have to be just with a mate. You can have a narcissistic parent.
Mm.
Which is the worst because you can't leave them. I mean, you know, you can't
Not till a
divorce
certain
them or
age.
what, you know. But yeah, it's not. You have parents and family members that are narcissistic, but you really feel it when you are in a romantic relationship with someone that has narcissism. You know. And not to get that confused because we all have some narcissistic tendencies. I mean, we're just living in a world of social media where we like to post all the time, right? Posting our pictures, posting selfies, that's considered to be narcissist, right? But I'm speaking of someone that has a narcissistic personality disorder. That is in their personality, that is who they are. And, they can be very charming, and that's part of their manipulation. Great people to be around in the beginning will make you feel like, man, this is great. Like, where has this person been all my life? But give it a couple weeks or say something that they necessarily don't agree with or tell them no about something.
Would you say R. Kelly would be a person with narcissistic personality disorder along with being a pedophile? But would it lend itself to that?
I don't know enough about his personal relationships to be able to say he was a narcissist. He probably has a lot of narcissist tendencies. Does he have the disorder? I really don't know.
Right.
But feeling that a person that feels like they can't be touched, they're higher than anybody else and they can just get away with things or say what they want to say. Yeah, that really points to someone that could possibly have NPD. But there's so much wrapped up in regards to R. Kelly, I definitely wouldn't just throw a label out there on him.
Well, we know somebody personally that we both believe to be probably one of the greatest pontificators in the history of pontificators, and definitely has a narcissistic
Jesus.
personality.
I know who you're talking
Just
about.
so unaware of what's
Yeah.
going on around him at all times.
Yeah.
It is even therapy. A therapy session is about him.
Mm-hmm.
Now it.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can't even
You're
get
right.
through to this person. Shout out to Cilla Mae. What up, boo? You can't
Hey,
even
Cilla.
you can't even get through to this person and make him believe that he's
Yeah.
not. And it's amazing
Yeah.
that people's emotional and mental health are in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, what the hell? He just had a whole session with this person about him.
You probably done. Thank God they not watching because they definitely know who they are now.
Well, I ain't, whatever. He can't beat me.
He can't beat you.
He can't beat me. I'm going to elementary. Like, you can't beat me. But no, I think he's a prime example though of this individual we're speaking of.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, a bully can grow up to be that though, because it's formed in your personality. So at a young age, if you have experienced certain things, just like any other personality disorder, that's all formed at a very early age.
And I think with him, it's a coping mechanism. It's a way to protect himself, so you don't see all of the other flaws. You don't see that I have this problem or that problem because I'm gonna push my intelligence in your face.
So also think about though the parents, right? So if you come from a parent that is, a lot of your narcissistic people too comes from parents that have high expectations, and they feel like they can never be enough or meet their parents' expectation. I can never do enough. I can never be perfect enough because the parent is not. It's like push, 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 but you're not praising either, right?
Right.
So then they grow up with this. I have to be, because that's how the person I was dealing with. I think that was his issue.
Right.
I think he had a very, very rough childhood in regards to emotional stuff, and I do know that he got bullied, and I also believe there was a lot of low self-esteem going on because of, like you said, remember you were saying back in the day you used to be called certain names or whatever, right? And this person
Black,
was
ugly.
too. Yeah. So this person was too, the complexion
Right.
of his skin and all of that. So I think that with that, like you said, that grew up with him, and then that now became, a way how he kind of protects himself as
Right.
well. And I'm going to do good. I'm going to do better. And I'm going to prove everybody wrong that I can do this and I can do that. I'm going to join a fraternity. I'm going to do this. So it's like all of this stuff, but you didn't take care of that inner stuff that needed to be healed.
Right.
You made your appearance and everything looks good on the outside.
On paper. Hell of a person.
You a hell of a person. But
Yeah.
in real life, to sit down and just really go deep, it's just like, whoa, you're going too deep now. Hold on. You're not supposed to see that part of me. You know what I'm saying? So,
But when you paint it like that, I think we probably know a lot of people like that.
oh
like
yeah,
the way you're
absolutely.
the way you just phrase it, how this individual particular person is. I think we know. I feel like I know several people like that now. Yeah, just you know what. And I don't want to say overachievers, or some of them could be, have this trait. However, I do think that when you just like trying to always achieve, and like who are you trying, like you said, who are you trying to please as an adult? And you're chasing that that praise and that love from somebody who's not going to
validation.
That make you have a lot of student loans because you constantly
And it gives
in school.
and it gives a very lonely life, as well, because a person that's like that, they have a very hard time having long-term relationships.
Right.
So that's another giveaway. If the person has a hard time with interpersonal relationships, or you see them jumping from one relationship to another, that's a problem. That's a sign that something's going on there, So I know that the topic tonight is about dating outside of your league, and we kind of went off track in regards talking about narcissism and narcissistic behavior and stuff like that. But it's definitely something to think about, because that's where the emotional piece of this comes into play. Not even a financial, but emotionally dating outside of your league. So now I can say I've definitely dated outside of my league emotionally. I definitely have done that.
And what was that like? And then I have a question for you to answer. You can answer both of these. So what? Let's say you're the more stable of the two. So that puts that other person out of your league. Have you ever been in a situation where you might have been the less stable at the time, emotionally and mentally? So speak to those two things, if you will.
So let me go with the first one. The first one was, okay, yes, I have dated people emotionally that have been, if we're using this topic for tonight, that has been emotionally out of my league. And that, oh shoot, damn, you always be putting me on the spot.
Yeah, because you like to ask questions. I want to know what you think too.
I know. So I think that also comes with a maturity level. So when I say that, I feel like I was dating people that were younger, a lot younger than me. So emotionally,
the phase.
It was after I went through my phase.
I used to be cracking up when you tell me about this stuff. I'd be like, how old is he?
Whatever.
Gotta break his ass at around 11 so he can go to sleep. But go ahead, carry on. My bad.
So, where I was maturity-wise, where I was emotionally matured, that person or persons may not have been there yet, which was understandable. And initially, it was all fun and games until where there was just certain things where it was just like, okay, it was just very obvious that we're on two different playing fields,
Did he realize it?
I think he did, but didn't want to admit it. I think that now don't get me wrong, because it was a couple. So, but the one in particular was very, very good, and although he was younger, he was very he had an old soul. I'll put it that way. However, there still was an uneven playing field.
Okay.
He was getting there, but it just wasn't going to work. And then other ones that I may have just couldn't understand my work ethic, right? You know, I guess where I'm at in my life, it's really about just making sure I'm good. I'm providing I'm leaving some type of legacy for my sons and you know, and all of that. So it was, no, I want your time, I want your time, I want your time. And I don't want you to work like that. And I don't want you to, you know, so we're in a whole different space because I can't be with someone that is not on their grind.
Right.
And, you know, does not have a vision or understanding of where they want to go and is not willing to work hard for that, because that's how I am, right? So it's important that either that person understands, sees my vision, and is going to be supportive of it. And maybe they don't have to go as hard, but at least you're supportive of it, right?
Right.
So that's what I was kind of coming across when I was dating. I try to be as careful as possible when explaining that. The other side of that, to
Very
answer your
measured.
question, was when I was very, very young. I was dating someone that was older.
So how old were you and how old was the guy?
He was 19.
So
I mean,
you
I
got
mean,
the-
I mean,
you got
I
the
was.
details,
I'm
Tasha.
sorry, I was 19,
Okay.
and he was at the time 33.
Okay.
I was just turning 20. I met him at 19, and he was 33.
Did any part of you question, like, you're 33? Like, not saying that you weren't the most mature person, 19-year-old moving, but did any part of you ever question, be like, what the hell you want with me? You're 33. I can't even get into the club.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Now you're also talking about a person that was trying during that time, was still trying to understand not only myself,
Okay.
but also why I had this dying need to feel loved in my relationships from men that probably didn't deserve it, right? And we've talked about this at the Rebirth Live, but that was the result of not having my dad in my life.
Right.
So here's this older man that is showing and doing these things for me, that although it's not in a fatherly way, but it was things that he was actually teaching me. Now, mind you, I was with this person for 7 years. So
Okay.
we did have a long-term relationship. But it was things that he taught me that I, you know, to this day, him and I are still cool. We're still friends, that I just didn't get from, you know,
Right.
my father. Now, he wasn't trying to play daddy to me, but because of his maturity level, you know, he really taught me a lot of things. So I feel like emotionally I was dating out of my league at that time because I was so young.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, he was matured. He was married before. So he was very, you know, very experienced. Yes. Did that come to my mind? What is it? You know, at one point I was just like, okay, I'm arm candy for him. You know, I'm the girl that's just like, yeah, I got a divorce. Now I got a young chick. I knew that initially that probably that's what was going
Yeah.
on, but it didn't end up turning into something that was a little bit more meaningful. Right. So those were probably my experiences that I can think of when we're talking about emotionally dating outside of your league.
So I hear everything you're saying as far as why you dated him and your father, the role that your father played. So when did that kind of turn around? Because it seems like you were looking for that, even though this was like this was a relationship. It wasn't like a fatherly figure, but he taught you things and you learned things. So at what point did you realize that maybe this is where you were going wrong? This is what you were searching for in a mate, like that, you know, that fatherly figure. You had that, but he was your mate.
Yeah. So finally having a conversation with my dad helped me understand that what his issues was and what his struggles were. And I said this on Saturday, that I end up being better not having him in my life than I probably would have been with him in my life.
Right. Wow.
And my dad always felt that he knew my mother and my grandmother were very, very, they were amazing women. They were God-fearing women. So he always knew and always felt that I was okay and I will always be okay. Even to this day, my dad does not worry about me because he always feels that I'm okay and I'm always good. And that was something that him and I had to have a conversation, because even though you might feel that way, it doesn't mean that I am. And sometimes just hearing from him, you know, makes me feel like I'm thought of or that I am special, you know. And yeah, he's right. I am good. I do figure it out. I do, you know, I always have found my way, you know, even up until now. I've always found my way to get things done or to figure it out, right? But it doesn't mean that, you know, not having you there or you calling or just coming to
Isn't
see me.
impactful,
Yeah, you know, because it is. But the way I was able to turn it around was identifying what was going on. I had to pause. I was just like, hold on. I'm not my best in these relationships because I'm too busy trying to make everybody else feel good, but
Right.
yet I'm not happy. And I couldn't understand that. Why am I in these relationships and y'all doing good? Y'all feeling great, but I'm still not. I still feel like there's something missing, right? So being able to pause and really just kind of go a little bit inside and start understanding what my relationship patterns were, what my dating patterns were, having a conversation with my dad, and forgiving myself,
Right.
forgiving my own self for feeling like I had to be or carry myself a certain way, or I had to accept what was a false negative. It wasn't. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't love, you know, but it was more acceptance that I wanted. I wanted someone to pick me. Why aren't you picking me, right? Because as a child, it was like I didn't feel like my dad picked me. So it was the same way in my relationship. So I would always end up with guys that was either cheating or dealing with other women. And I felt, again, why aren't you picking me? And it just was a reminder of how I wasn't chosen, you know, as a child, in regards to my own relationship with my father. So all of that stuff had to come up for me in order for me to be able to process it and then start to heal it. And once I healed it and realized how amazing I am
As we use
as
the word
as a
narcissistic.
woman, you know, and I'm gonna own that, because we have to love ourselves
Right.
more than we love our partners or the people that we with. We can love them, but we gotta love ourselves more. We have to love ourselves more.
I have
you
a,
know?
I have a follow up to that. So Corey says, I might read this first. Corey says, do you feel the term narcissist is overused today?
I do, just like the term bipolar is overused.
Oof. Yeah, everybody's bipolar now.
Everybody's bipolar. I mean, kids could be like, "Oh my God, my mom is being so bipolar today." You know, not my kids, but I'm just saying kids in general. You know, it's just like, "Oh, my parent is bipolar." You know, yeah, the word is definitely overused, but narcissism is what it is. You know,
it's
people
real.
are very narcissists. So in a sense, it's overused, but in a sense, it's not, because people are very narcissists. I mean, think about it. Think about, you know, just look on social media. You got
Yeah.
women
Everyday
bent
people.
over clapping their butt cheeks just to get likes. Is that not narcissist?
That's a little low self esteem thrown in there too. I would say for some
Absolute-
of them.
Just
for some
because
of
you're
them.
narcissist
some of
doesn't
them.
mean you don't have low self
That is
esteem,
true.
because
That
most
is
of the
true.
time you do.
Yeah, and it's a cover up
Yeah.
for that low self. No, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
You know, so that is a yes and no for me, Corey. I think that we're quick to use the word, but it is what it is. It really is what it is. I think being able to understand it, and that's why I was trying to break down the difference between someone that's narcissist versus someone that has a narcissistic personality disorder. We all have a little bit of narcissism in us. All of us. We all do.
I'm very humble.
No, you're not. But we all do, right?
Right.
That's just where we are in society. But then we get to the point where when your behaviors become manipulative and demeaning, and
Right.
you know, see, that's a whole nother thing. And at the same time, because honestly, I thought I was dating Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Sheesh.
I'm like, well, who are you today? Because I did
It
not
was
know
that
what I
bad?
was going to get. It was that bad. You know? So, yeah, so to answer your question, I think is yes and no.
I think that also, so the good in all of that, where you were saying about not having your father and that lack of a relationship, I think like I think that we are where we are today as far as being helpers, being therapists, being counselors, doing all of the things that we do today. I think a lot of that goes back to how we maybe felt or were made to feel growing up. And I think it's led, I know for me, I can definitely say it's led me to the helping profession, like not having my father and then just like really being focused on being a good dad. I think it really has driven me to try to be the dad to every kid I work with. Not like I'm your father, I'm going to be in here with you and your mother, but you know what I'm saying? I want
Right.
to give them what I didn't have. And I think that's part of what drives me with the kids that I work with in the community. Like these boys I work with, like I really want them to see that, you know, regardless of your father not being there, I want to present something to them that they haven't seen. So that's like really, really important to me.
Yeah.
And so I want to definitely make sure that, you know, and I love my own kids and I do my best to be everything that they need me to be, but I just feel a sense of duty to share myself with other kids too
Yeah.
in that way. And because of my experience growing up and not having my dad, I know that sucked. And so when I'm fishing with a kid and he's loving it, it's like, you know, I never been fishing before. Thank you, Miss A, for taking me. Like that means something to me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So things like that, not to get, you know, too
No, that's real. It's real talk. Though.
fatherly. But yeah, but that's important to me for whatever, not for whatever reason, I know why, but I really take that serious.
Yeah.
As much as I, you know, whatever, but those things are very important to me.
Well, that's what makes you, you know, who you are. You know, that's what makes you special. I mean that in a couple ways.
A unique person, slow bus, which one are you referring to? Short bus?
Depends on what day of the week we talking. But no, that's real talk. So I don't know. So what would you rather be? Emotionally dating outside of your league or financially dating outside of your league? If you had to pick one.
I'm gonna say financially. I don't want to be a burden to anyone, and I don't want anybody to be a burden to me emotionally, because I can't fix that for you, and you can't fix that for me. If I'm not willing to do the work, then I'm gonna be a burden on you because of how I'm jacked up emotionally. Now financially, I can work an extra job or whatever, and try to match your energy in that way. But I can't help you fix you. You have to be willing to do that. I can support it. I can support you, but I can't. If you like, nah, I don't want no therapy. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm just gonna be depressed every day, but I'm okay. You bringing me down.
Right.
So I'm
right.
gonna say I'd rather be unequally yoked in the financial way.
Okay.
Me. What about you?
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, definitely same thing. Financial wise, I would choose that over emotionally out of your league. Because if that emotional piece is so important, and if we can't connect on that level, or if you're not even trying to gain an understanding, then that's not going to work.
Right.
It's definitely not going to work for me. Financial, yes, you can, like you said, a person can, you know, you might not never make or get or have the degrees or make the salary, but as long as you trying to
Pulling
do
your
the
weight.
best that you can do,
Yeah.
and you're pulling your weight, you know, rather it's you know, male or female, you know, like you said, I might can't take you to a 5-star restaurant, but you know, I might treat you to I don't know, what is it, Applebee's or
Iron skillet.
you know, Texas Roadhouse
Get
or
some
something
buffet.
like that. You know, as long as you're trying to do something or you're trying to, you know, show me, it doesn't necessarily have to mean it has to be from a big Balenciaga trash bag. You know,
We ain't gotta be putting our trash.
we
in
don't
one of
need to
those.
do that. No, not at all. But the emotional piece of that is important, and it has to be.
It's so very important.
Yeah, you got to show up. So we got to heal ourselves and go back to healing yourselves before you even get into a relationship. You know, somebody asks, well, how do you know that you're ready to, you know, what was the question at the Rebirth Live? How do you know when you forgive someone? I believe is what she said.
Right.
You know, how do you know when you're healed? How do you know when, and I think one of the misconceptions is that when you're healed or when you forgive someone is that you're no longer going to experience triggers. That's not true.
Right.
You can always have the triggers, but it may not be as powerful as they used to be. You know, because God knows I had some triggers used to set me off. when I was going through my divorce. It was just certain things. And I picked up on, and even to the day, I notice certain things about people, especially with their cell phones. So if you was to take your cell phone and put it face down, upside down, I would pick that up. I would notice it because it was a trigger for me.
So in your old situation, that meant what? Because it might not mean that with the new person.
I know that, but in my old situation, it was that person, and the person was cheating, and then they were hiding when somebody was calling.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and so anytime if I went on, when I had started dating, if I was on a date and somebody turned their phone over like that, that was a trigger for me. And either I would not go on the next date with them, or I would tell them.
Shut it down?
Yeah, I would shut it down. But that also told me that I was not in a space.
You weren't healed.
I wasn't ready yet. That told me right there I wasn't ready yet, right? But now, I might see it. I'm like, oh, okay. It might come to my head. Oh, okay. What you trying to hide, right? But it doesn't. It'll leave because sometimes I turn my phone upside down.
And I do at night when I go to sleep, because once my phone goes into rest mode or whatever, a light comes on, and my room is so dark that light would throw me off, and it's not. And I put it away from me, like over on the sink, and charge it over there, but. It's definitely not. It ain't for that reason. But I can see how somebody could think that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, depending on your experience.
Absolutely. And then you have, like we were, oh gosh, it was me and a couple ladies. We had went to Bahama Breeze, I believe. Me, Jen, and Jen Fontel.
Shout out to Jen Fontel, who brought her own audience. I call them the Jeanettes.
The Jeanettes, yeah. We was out at not a hotel. We was at Bahama Breeze. I don't know where my mind going. And we saw this couple, like the girl kept getting up, following her man around the restaurant. And he's just like, yo, why are you following me? She would follow him to the bathroom, and he would come back. Now, mind you, he was coming back and forth in our area a couple of times.
Were these clear people?
No, they were. It was a black couple, and they literally got into like an argument in the restaurant, right? And me and Jen was sitting there talking. I'm like, something is triggering her for her to get up and keep following him around a restaurant. Like, where are you going? You either going to the bathroom or back to your table. What are you doing? I said, something is happening, something is triggering. And sometimes people don't know how to really handle it in that moment. So they just go off. And that's what happened. Like, they just, it was obvious.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So those type of triggers, anything that's triggering you, like, you got to heal that stuff and before you enter into another relationship, because it's not fair for the other person.
Absolutely not.
And you are bringing, emotional baggage, and you are dating outside of your league if you're trying to be in a relationship with someone that appears to be whole and healed, and now you're coming in with a bunch of stuff to cause the situation to be toxic, right? So that's that.
All right, that's that. So I put the nail in that, Tosh.
Put the nail in
She's
it.
that wasn't as aggressive as mine.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we have come to the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Make sure you follow us on all social media outlets, Philly Jams 95.3 on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Rebirth_ on Instagram and Rebirth on Facebook. You can catch us on wherever you get your podcasts.
All streaming.
Yeah, streaming.
Apps. We are there.
iHeart, Spotify, all
Stitcher.
of those places. We're there. Shout out to Fluent Radio in Chicago. And guys, please be listening out. We will be announcing the next Rebirth Live date soon, within a couple of weeks, possibly next Monday. I might have the date by next Monday. I don't know. I gotta pray on it. I gotta pray on it.
Let's go to the Lord.
But we are definitely coming back. Rebirth Live, Love, Lust, and Relationships.
Volume 2.
Volume 2. Volume 2. We will definitely be back. So again, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and have a blessed week. See you next Monday.
Peace.